like a fuck, I'm late. I swear to God. Y'all know I curse all the time, so it shouldn't matter. You've been rocking with me for that long. Sorry I'm a little bit late tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I had some little technical difficulties with my now prior piece of equipment. So, yeah, shit happens. So, luckily I had a backup for the backup for the backup. And so, this is my other little joint that I had previously or whatever, and it works just fine. So, anyway, long story short, guys, I wanted to jump into the story here as everybody logs in and log in and everything like that. I know I said I was supposed to be here about 20, 30 minutes ago or whatever, but, shit happens. This is the thing. I put up a story last night and it's gotten some traction, I see, since I put it up last night. I put it up at like maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It might have been a little bit earlier than that. And it was about the Juneteenth celebrations, And, already I have my opinions about people particularly wanting to party versus actually wanting to, look at life for what it really is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, for real. And we're coming out of COVID-19 right now. And they had folks yesterday celebrating, having parades and everything like that. And I saw video footage from all across the country. Nobody had any masks on half the time. You know what I mean? If they did, it was passers-by walking by. It wasn't people actually joined into the festivities. So I got a couple of different theories here, a couple of different notions. Some of y'all might agree with, some of you may not. But one in particular that I agree with, and I always agree with myself, and I'm not going to make this one too long tonight, guys, because I'm late as it is, so it'll probably be about, 30, 40 minutes. But because I could sum this all up very easily. If you had in the beginning, you had a problem with African Americans and Latinos in the West Coast getting hit the hardest by COVID-19. If you had all those situations going on, right, and previously, and up until maybe 3 months ago, in a check, 4 months ago tops, we were re-entering that phase once again, where we were going to see a whole bunch of this stuff going on, right? And the thing is, giving people allocation of a holiday commencement and giving them the go-ahead to start having celebrations without telling anybody to have any separation, anything like that whatsoever, whatever. I remember in New York, during the pandemic, there was a rabbi in Brooklyn. And this rabbi, his son was getting married, and he wanted to invite over 10,000 people. Well, 10,000 people were projected to show up from all across the country and some of the world for this young man's wedding. Right then, they deemed it a problem. And I got why. With these Juneteenth celebrations, I think it's a setup. And I think it was meant to do something. And I think it was a strategy move that I've seen before. And they wanted to see, everybody's under a test right now. You're all lab rats right now. If you took that fucking vaccine, you're a lab rat. Whether you like to think it that way or not. And what I mean by lab rat, this is one of my theories about Juneteenth and the commencement of it, and the federal holiday recognition, everything like that, or whatever, which should have been done under Obama, if anybody. That law's been up there for a very long time. Very long time. Or even the proposition of the bill itself has been up there in proposal for a very long time. So don't think that this has happened overnight. I'm going to wrap this up really now because for some real reason or another it's raining. But I think personally, I think personally that having all these black people congregate all together, no mask on in most cases. Y'all look at the footage if y'all want to, y'all see for yourself as well. Half of the time, nobody's got no type of mask on, okay, and that worries me. That makes me think, that worries me a lot. Because I'm saying, are they trying to see this whole inoculation of this whole vaccine works on herd immunity theory? Now, we're saying that let's test that theory while letting people congregate. And there's going to be different demographics to fit this. Please don't feel that it's solely on you. Oh, no. They hoping white folks do this. They hoping Latin folks do this. They hoping Asians do this. They hoping everybody does this shit Come together, congregate, so we can see if the motherfucking vaccine works. And what you're not being reported wide-based anyway is that the vaccine is failing. There was a woman just recently, I don't know if you guys heard about it, that caught COVID-19 despite the fact that she had both shots. The primary shot, first shot, and a secondary shot that you're supposed to take 200 days later. She had both shots, and she just died in Pennsylvania. Look that story up. I'll even link it in here when I'm finished with this. She died. In Europe, there have now been 9 people. 9. Feels very unheard of, but 9. Y'all can look this up. That have died, regardless of getting the vaccination. There could be different ways. People can say, oh, well, maybe that vaccination is bad or whatever. But it pros to speculation. And prone to speculation means you need clear-cut evidence that this vaccination works. And they didn't have it prior. So all the data that they're grabbing and combining right now, whether this medication or inoculation, however you want to call it, actually works, it's by testing on people congregating together. Know it sounds sick, know it sounds crazy, but that's what it is. My second theory. I reported yesterday, I'm about to move out this rain in a second because it's definitely drizzling. I reported yesterday that there were some people in Oakland at a Juneteenth celebration, and they were fired upon somebody in that crowd. It's speculative there's 2 people that the police are looking for in particular. They fired indiscriminately. Somebody, not on here, but on another one of my social media sites, sent me the video in hopes that I would talk about it, but what they sent me was raw video. And I don't want to get flagged, so I'm not going to put that up. I refuse to put that up. Like, it's so graphic that it's crazy, because like in the video, you see people drop in, you hear the you hear their screams, everything. And this happened out in Oakland, California, yesterday afternoon. Now, they don't know if those people were part of the celebrations or whatever. But the point is, this congregating with motherfuckers that got mental illnesses and everything else, they ain't been out in months. And now all of a sudden, you putting them in a cookout with everybody else socially. Well, a lot of these motherfuckers ain't associated with nobody in months. It's a dangerous idea, and I don't like the way it's going. I think this Juneteenth celebration thing and the encouragement of it and the influence of it right now at this particular point, I'm not trying to say there's no place for it. But what I'm trying to say is right now, y'all don't realize and pay attention to how quickly they sped things up. Go back and look at just put in COVID-19. Put in COVID-19 deaths and just put it in for we're in June, you're going to go into July. Put in for April. Put in for March. It was just 3 or 4 months ago, everybody was still, there was an uptick of viruses, et cetera. Now, you telling me just shortly after 3 months, everything is all right? Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? You have some audacity to tell somebody of motherfucking intelligence and of college pedigree some dumb shit like that. You have to be out of your mind. I see exactly what they were doing. And as everybody was sitting over there, damn near bent over, thank you, Master Biden, thank you. Y'all elected that motherfucker. I'm not saying that y'all should have elected Trump, but you shouldn't have elected that motherfucker. I would have rather you sat home and not voted at all. Y'all say Trump was racist. This motherfucker's on record for saying that if his kids went to school with black kids, it would become a racial zoo. That's what he said. Y'all talking about Trump. Trump ain't never said nothing against black people. Trump talked about Mexicans and people south of the border, which is now the primary motherfucking conversation right now with Kamala Harris. Isn't that ironic? That's why I always play the part of neutrality, because both parties are full of shit. The Republican Party is full of a lot of racists. When you get to the conservative end, specifically in the southern end, which is classless and tasteless, in my opinion. And then you get those, well, I don't know if you guys know this or not, there were 12 Republican senators, right? Skittles, shout out to Skittles. There were 12 Republican senators that voted against Juneteenth. And one of them in specific, I'm not going to say his name, but from Texas, a gentleman from Texas. He said specifically this, and wrote a statement when asked. He said that I think that the name of the holiday and the timing, which he said, et cetera, and I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, but peculiar. He also said he didn't like the name. He said that the name should be attached with something like the freedom name or something like that or whatever. The next day I saw that everybody started attaching the freedom name, Juneteenth freedom day, to their whistle name. And that's why I use the whistle name that you guys see right now, you're looking at, or you saw before you logged in or whatever, was the picture I put up there. And I put that picture up there because the pure simple fact I wanted people to see one thing. I wanted them to see that, yes, it is written like that, Freedom Day. And what I'm telling you is, they're preparing you motherfuckers to put a batch of you back into slavery. They're about to put a batch of Indians back into slavery, a batch of whites back into indentured servitude or slavery or whatever, which slavery existed in their culture way longer than it existed with Africans. And then new form of African Americans that were here. I tell y'all, please look that up. The barbarians, everybody, they did slavery eons before they got to Africans. All right? Eons. This is a fact. Look this shit up. The Celtics, different branches of whoever was ruling at that time in Egypt used slaves to build the pyramids. The Nubians had a reign for a significant amount of time over the kingdom of Nubia and Kush or whatever you want to call it. They had a significant rule over Egypt, but they weren't the only ruling party. There were different parties and different higher and lower kingdoms, as they were pronounced, throughout Egypt's history. So, when you catching and you reading and you catching on to the stuff that you like, make sure to read the stuff that you don't like too. You have to. You have to gain an opposing opinion. And that's why I have a problem with a lot of these people to get on and talk and try to teach. They teach their brain. What they don't teach you is option. You always have to offer the people option. And what offering them option means this. When you offer them option, you tell them, hey, this is one way it could possibly be, but here's another way it could possibly be too, and that's just to be strategic. If there was a war going on, I told you to run in the building, there's one piece that we need in there. It's a SIM card, right? And I told you run into that building, we have war. I'm in a real outside war. And I tell you run in that building, you got to get that piece. Because if you don't get it, we're going to be in trouble. And your life's dependent on it. Wouldn't you want a well-drawn-out plan? All the pluses and minuses? Hey, when you go in the building, there might be some infantrymen right there on the side of the left. Hey, we did some pre-investigation. You might, or some detail. You might want to go to the second floor. There might be a, you know what I mean? Whatever. I need to know the schematics of the interior of that building. So upon me entering it, not only am I successful coming back, but I'm also alive. You motherfuckers gonna call yourself, excuse me. If some of you guys are gonna call yourself soldiers and all this stuff, then what you gotta realize is you gotta think like soldiers. You ain't thinking like soldiers, you gotta think like a bunch of banshees at war with each other. King of the rags and tatters. Within that certain paradigm that I was speaking of about the shooting, this Juneteenth celebration, 6 people were shot and 1 person was killed. 6 people shot, 1 person killed. Chicago over the weekend and on Father's Day saw 42 shootings. Over the weekend, Father's Day weekend, 42 shootings. Miami, same thing. They did something, I think it was 30-something sequence. I also saw all these numbers from national outlets. You can look them up for yourself. Those are for your option. I keep telling y'all that something's going on. I'm also going to present something to y'all, a piece of work of mine. Very soon, I want you guys to watch it. It's going to detail to you guys something I had said before, and I alluded on to it. If y'all understand me and you've been watching me for a while, I always predict this stuff and it always comes about. I don't know how I do it. I think it's for all the years in the music industry, I just somehow or another created a way to be so systematically and mathematically correct on things. Even things in my life right now, I'm very mathematically right. I'm a Taurus. We do things the way we want. Yeah, I can predict it right now. This trend, this Juneteenth thing, combined And we're just seeing across the country, which I've heard now, 5 different police officers, black, white, and Spanish, say the same thing. Mass shootings. A mass shooting includes 3 or more people getting shot in one city. I thought that big deal was down there in Florida, where there was 25 people shot. Oh, no. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button as y'all come in. I thought it was 25 people, and I thought that was a lot. There's been others. There's ones with video. I have this one clip, and that's what I'm putting together. I'm going to edit the hell out of them. I might even throw in that footage I saw earlier that somebody sent me about that shooting and what happened. And I want y'all to see these clips, and you'll see Detroit is the biggest proponent of this shit. I mean, they're involved heavy. 8 people shot in one sitting, 5 people shot in one sitting, and it's going on all across the country. And it's going on specifically, and I hate to say it, and many people might feel any other way when I say this, it's going on. This is not a political joke, but it's a reality. Atlanta's included. It's going in every place that's a liberal, I don't know if you want to say liberal democrats, socialists, governors and mayors. That's the most way I can say it. Every state that you see this, including the state I'm in right now, with our old tricky dick governor, I think he's going to repurpose the money and throw it to where he wants to. That's why I threw that out there, repurposing the money. A lot of governors are trying to plan on repurposing this COVID-19 relief fund money that they got. They under rules and stipulations how they have to spend that money. So if you see something funny in your state, you should bring it up. Because they have rules and regulations on how much of that money they can spend per year. 2, that's why a lot of them try to keep it as surplus and repurpose it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other things to address here in this state. I'm just going off a second, but there's a lot of things to address in this state besides building a new fucking bridge. They're even that freaking Biden about that now. I just saw Bernie Sanders come at him. The same line I had already said about this infrastructure bill. This all includes you. And I don't know why there's not more. These men are online beefing with each other. Guess who said what or whatever. And even the ones that's talking against the shit somehow or another get wrapped up in the war. But you can't go with so much. This Juneteenth thing, it's nothing but rags and tatters. And it was placed there for one, I think, to see if gathering with black people in close circumference without mask or anything on, what I'm hoping would be an assumption that they were inoculated already with the vaccine. This is not a good thing. It was a test. And you'll see the results of that test, whether they're positive or negative, within the next couple of weeks, I would think, if not the next couple of days. You know, it doesn't take COVID-19 very long to saturate itself and become embedded. So, it shouldn't be really, what am I looking for here to say? Really hard to investigate, you know what I'm saying, and monitor like they plan. Oh, you're being monitored. You better believe that. You go on Times Square, you on at least over 1,000 cameras. That's been on the news. Hey. So what I want to say is my third speculation is this Juneteenth thing is being placed there so it can actually replace Black History Month. And I mean popularity and narrative wise, and how they can perform and move the vehicle through that narrative of that federal recognized idea. That's what it is, it's a federal recognized idea. That in itself is a test. See, Black History Month for itself was part of, I'm going to say, 2 periods heavily. And that was the 90s and the late 80s, okay? And anything, celebrating anything such as it was as a part of that. And I even go as far as to say up to 2005, maybe 2006, 2007. But as these kids started growing up, they didn't grow up in households that celebrated Black History Month, really. So they started becoming more and more minute to it. As they grew even further, they started to decipher and dismantle and everything else, all the mechanics that made Black History Month work the way it did. And a lot of people don't approve of it. They don't like a lot of things. It's celebrating Black History Month, which I can agree. A lot of it's communist, a lot of it's Marxist, in its origins, not in its delivery. A lot of it is coattailed around like empathy, ploys. We gotta go march. I'm not marching with you. You know what I'm saying? Call me when y'all need to shoot us. You know what I'm saying? For real. I got a whole bunch of dudes for that. But I'm not here to promote anything other than your protection of yourself. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. That Juneteenth celebration shit has risen a whole bunch of eyes because it was recognized as a national holiday. Y'all think it's just been recognized by Black people, but you're sadly mistaken. It's been with the eyes of many different Klan members across this country, far right wingers and everybody else. They talking. I went to go see if they were talking and what they were talking about. And you know, there was another guy. I'm gonna put that clip up. There was another guy that was chased. I believe this was somewhere out in Arizona somewhere. There was a guy that was chased by a big Mexican fella, whatever. The big Mexican fella first punched him, okay? So homie took off. And he said for 14 minutes, this man chased him. 14 minutes trying to do further bodily harm, I imagine. Or try to fight him or whatever the case may be. When they caught this man, which I'm assuming he was maybe kind of a little intoxicated based on his picture, but still struck mind speaks a sober mind. And this man, I guess, proceeded to do what he was going to do, you know, and they arrested him. When they arrested him, he said these words. They said, why'd you do it? Why'd you attack? Because they consider it a hate crime. And he said, because we're at war with the Black people. He said that out of his own mouth. And I had said that to y'all before. And I try to explain it to you, like, even in DR, even in Panama, even in Cuba, whatever, there's a secular Black population. And they, you know, just like here, they'll put little special provisions for them, like Juneteenth and shit like that, or whatever, make them proud. You know, go ahead, take that. You know what I'm saying? Get up on out of here. Get out the way. Y'all happy now? You know, ass gifts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to be real careful of that shit because those little gifts, like Malcolm X had mentioned before, earlier on, the gifts that liberals give you many times will shut you up and keep you calm. The gifts that liberals give you are sometimes there to manipulate you or get a chosen result in the end, maybe 4 to 5 years out, if need be, based on the thought process they've just injected in you by their influence. A lot of times, we've seen this with either, whether it be the Great Society programs, 1968, the Lyndon B. Johnson signed, which forced a lot of Black men out of there, and Latin men for that matter, out of their households in favor of government programs, you know. But if you were married, you could stay there, you know. One of the biggest mistakes ever. Even white teens don't necessarily get married when they become pregnant, which we've seen the numbers for that. Shout out to 16 and Pregnant on MTV. Unfortunately, and I do mean unfortunately, I think Juneteenth is nothing but a ploy to replace Black History Month for this generation. They will be more familiar with it, they'll be more adamant with it, they will help navigate it if they do, and what they navigate it into, I don't know. But it could also be a ploy to navigate certain people that we see infiltrate not only Black but other organizations, which is Antifa. They infiltrated Black Lives Matter. We all know that right now. We just had 50 officers. I don't know if y'all know this. And I'm going to end off with this too. But you just had 50 officers in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, out of all fucking places, like Portland, Oregon. Yeah, 50 officers resigned from policing because one police officer got fired from what they call misconduct. Police officers. Now, if they want them 50 police officers back, them 50 police officers are going to go to their union, if they have a union, and get something negotiated out. Now, this is deep under police shit. We have at the end of the day right now in this area. I'm going to tell you how this all tied together. We have a candidate in this area right now, right across the water here, not even 25 minutes away in New York. And I forgot what her name is, but she's older, well, not older, maybe like mid-40s, early 50s, with graying dreads. Very pretty woman. She almost looks like Gopal. Y'all remember that artist Gopal? She almost looks like her. So, her, Eric Adams, who is my pick to win, and a couple other people are running for running for mayor of New York City. And this woman, along with another guy named something Chang, I forgot what his last name is, they were all running on this merit to defund the police. Many people are reporting now these Juneteenth celebrations, just like the shooting in Oakland, there wasn't any police presence. They said there wasn't any police presence like it usually was. And be quite honest with you, if there's a bunch of kids and any some racist or trigger-happy cops on them, I'm not one to speak against that in an event like that, because you never know who's out there, and you need a quick response. I don't need to rely on a motherfucker that's in the crew. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what the setback might be with him. He might be just sending himself up with it. I need those that's licensed to do it. You know what I mean? And I need to get whoever's a threat the fuck up on out of there. That's why so many people were shot yesterday in Oakland, because there was no police presence heavy out there like it usually is. It kept reiterating that. All throughout New York City right now, whether y'all know it or not, there's a violence epidemic. There's one happening in Florida. There's one happening definitely in Detroit. Detroit and Chicago at heads with each other right now, as far as their body count is concerned. And Chicago's only leading by a little bit. Let's put it that way. There's a whole bunch of shit I've been digging in that's going on in Detroit. Florida too. We put together another little piece for y'all about this guy, and he finally got convicted today after 3 years of this going on. This black gentleman, you can look at him, see he was out of his mind. He had the big dookie Florida boy dreads in his hair. He's from Tampa, or he lives in Tampa, either or. And homeboy clicked out because of his mental illness, killed his girlfriend by shooting her with a shotgun, killed his daughter, and tried to kill his son who survived. This man proceeded to defend himself in court and live with the lie that ain't nobody seen me. I ain't do this, you know. So they had his son testify, whom he stabbed several times. I want y'all to remember that. Several times, including once in the head. He was trying to kill him. The little boy survived. The little boy, 11 years old now, was 8 years old at the time. And the little boy gave his recount in court about what happened to him or whatever. When we get back into Juneteenth, I just want y'all to hear this. And that man said to his son, "Did I stab you? Do you know how much brazen, death of demonic shit that has to go through your mind to conjure up a response like that to your son that you tried to kill?" This goes to show you the world of people that we're living in. That was just 3 years ago. 3 years ago. A year before the pandemic came. Okay, 3 years ago. This Juneteenth thing and people conjugating and everything like that, and not knowing their mental stability is my point. Because this guy was walking around every day. There was people there at his court date that obviously cared about him, and they weren't all family members. So these are people, multiple people were messing with this dude. And for that matter, I don't know what might have led in their relationship that led up to that, but I'd say whatever led up to that was of its extreme. You know what I'm saying? For you to go there. These Juneteenth celebrations are not a good idea. And if they are, and you decide to have one of your own, I'm going to give you a couple of tips. One, you have to make sure you have security. Okay? I know that sounds, hurtful, and you're like, no, not all the people. Yes, on the people. The people around the country shooting people that look like people like you. Dead. There were 49 motherfuckers shot in 42 shot in Chicago this weekend, the weekend before that 49. In Detroit had 30-something in a week. Okay? All the folks out here ain't filming. And that's just the motherfuckers that shoot. You also have to count, if you know the streets, the motherfuckers that's around the motherfucker. For every one shooter, there's at least 10 guys or 15 guys that's backing him because they just like the mold that, that's a shooter. So he got like 10 or 15 people around him to respect him just because of that. Ask Sammy the Bull Gravano, snitch bastard. But I'm playing Sammy. But I take that back. I actually take that back. Because I don't know what transpired there, so I actually fucking take that back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what transpired there. And it's reckless of me to sit there. So, Samuel, however you sit, I apologize for that. I really do. On camera. That wasn't fair. But I'll tell you like this, right? A lot of people are not seeing the bigger picture here of where this whole Juneteenth thing is going. It's going to slowly eradicate out Black History Month, which is a whole month. You know what I'm saying? 28 days usually, 27 days usually in February, except for every 4 years. There's all 27 days versus 1 day or 1 weekend of the Juneteenth celebrations, which nothing is being learned. Just as of right now, anyway, because I only saw a whole bunch of motherfuckers cooking out. That's all I saw. I saw a whole bunch of people cooking out. You want a burger? Let's get a burger. We just got to do with freedom. Let's go eat. Gotta stop letting eating be the remedy for everything. We've been doing that since the freaking plantation. Italians too. Cure to everything is eating. Huh? Eating. Greek people too. Eating. Under press. Yeah, have a bowl of motherfucking spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? Eating. Yeah, that's some feta. A little bit of motherfucking, what's the name, and a stuffed roast rosemary chicken. It'll be fine. Eating. Everybody went to go eat together around a whole bunch of people at festivities. And this epidemic ain't even over, pandemic, whatever, ain't even over for one. And then two, just 3 months ago they were talking about increases in deaths. We just had a woman die that had the first and second vaccination confirmed by the CDC. It's a trick. That's all I got to say, guys. I just want to talk about that for a minute. I think that the sheer contention of this Juneteenth thing, and maybe Republicans, that the 12 Republicans that didn't vote for it, maybe they saw something in it as well. The celebration of Juneteenth itself, or whatever, is the freedom of the slaves and the emancipation of the slaves that took place in 1868 after signing the Emancipation Proclamation, right? But it wasn't until Southerners then waited until 2 years later to come and tell these people that they were free. So they were for additional 2 years as labor, most of them anyway, just so they could, and the possibility of 3 or 4 for some cases, I would think. These people worked over and over hard labor after they were even free, declared free by the federal government. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that there's a lot of things that can be said about that or whatever, but I like to use the words of Calvin Candy. Why don't you go back and kill him? Y'all remember that story in Django Unchained with Calvin Candy? He said, old Ben sat on that porch every year, after year, and shaved my daddy. And not one time did he think to slice my daddy's throat. It's a quote from Django Unchained. I think that's a problem many have. And I can understand the happiness after lifelong servitude, I would have came back that with all. What's it? It's coming to that any goddamn way. All these neo-Nazi groups, all this shit popping up or whatever. Unless I can look at you and tell you Italian or something of the Mediterranean descent, I don't even speak to a lot of motherfuckers, you know? I'm definitely not afraid. Everybody knows that about me. No, it's not that. It's more so being cautious because they're so, we still can't get the symmetry of why, most white people went to school with black people. Most white people in this country have went to, some type of service, some type of game, some type of something with African American people, right? And Latino people for that matter too, because this always comes up with them too. And yet and still, they will pick their pets that they like. Like I noticed a lot of them, they pick the Asian pets and the Arab pets, and those guys are so their culture is deeply rooted in servitude. I mean, it's just from a geisha girl to, I forgot what the terminology is, Indian Punjabi practices, but they have a sentence that's equated to that, where a girl is in a lifelong sexual servitude. You know what I mean? Like, there's some Soviet people, simple to say. African Americans are fought in every fucking war you done had, including the Civil War, which the Emancipation Proclamation was signed shortly after. I know this because it comes from a proud military. Do you know I got in an argument with an Indian gentleman because he did not believe the slaves built the White House. He didn't believe the slaves, but it's a commemorative plaque there. But he didn't believe it. Well, you ain't been nowhere, huh? You see what you guys are talking about here? Okay, we got a weirdo in here. Let me get him out of here. Let's hide him on the channel. Get him out of here. And give me 1 second, guys. I thought I saw some BS there. I was just trying to figure out what it was. Oh, he out of here. Yeah, that sounds like somebody that's just bored. I told you, I be having people come in here all the time, upset with me talking about, what's the name? You want to see a boy with a ponytail? What kind of gay shit is that? I told y'all. Chick raise. That's something a woman do. Like and I'm not talking about a woman. I'm talking about like a 16-year-old, 15-year-old girl do that. I just saw all that stuff popping up. I thought y'all was talking. This is some weirdo typing in wherever he typing in. That's all right. I blocked him every quarter. I worry about that. They always, I always got like 6 or 7 that do that. What up, Annette? I see you right there too. That was on them already. Like that at any of y'all see a motherfucker write shit like that, just hit report on his ass. You know what I'm saying? They gonna stop doing that. They go to everybody's channel doing it. I was on Kevin Samuels' page before. They was on there doing it or whatever. And for a while, I know it might be one of them. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Maybe they didn't got into, you know what I'm saying? Hey, let me go here and fuck with somebody, or let me create an account like this or whatever. I'm gonna speak my mind. A lot of people ain't gonna like what I'm speaking. I'm in the process now of getting all these bots removed off my channel who somebody put on my channel, which is cute. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying there's nobody to view me or nothing like that, but I have bots on my channel, So it is what it is. And they're there to suppress how many views you can potentially get. So I got to just figure out which ones that I have, and I have to remove them. I have to remove them manually. It's no big deal. It's getting done. But I got 2 of them so far. So y'all see that what was that other one? VYI.com or something like that. Takes you some porn site for dating or some shit. People are fucking sick. Now, if he was talking about some ponytail pic, where he was talking about, and I know that's somebody, that's why I said, it's always somebody lurking around. If you're talking about some ponytail pic or whatever, he's mentioning it because I said I used to have long hair, and I wore it in the ponytail, and everybody knows that. Why would you, as a man, or you pretend to be a man because you say your name was Terry, it's probably a woman, sitting back talking about, yo, why you ain't got no ponytail? What a ponytail pick? Like, that's nigga shit. That's why I try to tell you. Like, this Juneteenth shit, under the conditions and the way a lot of people, see, it only takes one or two of them. See how we was all here vibing and cooling or whatever? And then all of a sudden, that's how it always is. He didn't go over to Fox. He didn't go over to Bill O'Reilly's page. He didn't go over, nah, he fucked with his own. And you know why they fucked with their own? Because they feel there's no fear in it. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing that's gonna happen to them. That's how they feel. You're worth less. Because they have nothing to fear in their own. You have to worry about these threats for your own. I don't have to be threatened. I'm not threatened by no white man like that. White men walk past me and it's either one or two things. Either they say some sarcastic, arrogant bullshit, narcissist shit because they got low self-esteem, or either they say hello. With black men and Latin men, they just usually, I would say, out of 10 that walk past me, 10 say nothing. They don't say nothing to me. They don't speak to me. Latinos always speak to me for the most part, but black dudes, nah, they don't walk around. They just like most of them, from my opinion, that I see today, most of them are just like troublemakers. Like, that's some troublemaker shit right there. You know what I'm saying? You come to somebody's page, you just start saying all kinds of super shit, but in reality, you've been hovering here for a while. It was probably like this Sailor Moon bra, whoever she is or whatever, to keep making account after account after account to come back. I'm like, that's neurotic. You know what I'm saying? This is motherfuckers you won't have a burger with on the Juneteenth celebration? No. Hell no. I think a lot of people of color should, like, honestly and truthfully stay away from each other for a minute until people figure out what the mental ramifications were of all this solitude that everybody's been. It's not the same. You know, a lot of people of color already had a lot of traumas going on or whatever, and they endured those same traumas. Now, secluded, where they could have once left the house or left their environment or whatever, they're now in the house, stuck, having to sit there and literally just embracing everything, whatever's going around. You know, I know those stories. I know those stories. I've seen them happen with friends, their family and shit. Never seen it happen in my dynamic, but my family dynamic, but I have in others, in New York especially, and in Connecticut. People that do stuff like that is just very sad. It's just very sad. They're cowards too, you know? And especially, I hate to say it, women are haters too. I'm gonna extend this a little bit. Women are haters too, you know that? I'm gonna add this on to that. I think that was a woman right there. What I'm finding is there's a segment of women in the culture, and congratulations to that girl that's the fastest runner now, whatever. Congratulations, sweetheart, for real. I really mean that. There's a segment of black and Latin women that just have no respect whatsoever for men of color. And I've seen this happen in Spanish culture, and I've seen this happen in black culture. And the funny thing about it is, the shit that they will say to you, they would never say to a white man. They just that's why I'm trying to tell you, these are walking slaves. These are the new slaves. I'm trying to tell you. And the plantation is anywhere they make it. You know what I mean? Like, that's all the best way I can tell you. I've seen people live in literally shit and got $400 motherfucking Louis Vuitton shits on, and the red bottoms, or Manolo boots, fucking Birkin bags, all that shit. And I'm like, huh? But you live in the you gotta pass piss in your Manolo boots to get on the elevator. Long as I look good, I was never into that shit. I always look good and I live somewhere good. Always my whole adult life. I'm not living in shit. You give this shit, you live in shit, you get shit problems. And that song go, gangsta don't live in a tenement yard. Gangsta don't live in a tenement yard. It's a Projects Equator. You don't live in shitty places if you're really getting money. You move the fuck out of there immediately. But what it really is responsibility they're scared of. They know they can't do that somewhere else, so they stay right there and they do it in that neighborhood. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the same mentality you're getting from these motherfuckers online. They won't do it anywhere else, but they think their segment of YouTube or any segment that's brown on YouTube is considered the project. I have motherfuckers walk up to me and initially start talking slang, and I've seen them do it even with people that are wearing suits. And I'm like, you're trying to make fun of him, but it's just showing you this a pre-long teenager, really. How old are you, 35? And that's the most you figured out all your life. And then, you get a lot of African Americans and whites and Latinos that get jealous of you because of the simple fact you appear educated to them. Oh, that's the worst story. That's the one I get all the time. That one and the way I look. And I can't help the way I look. I cannot help the way I look. But I'll tell you this fucking much. That was just hilarious right there. I'm not even reading that shit. I was just looking, I was like, who the fuck is doing all these comments? What do you say? Yeah, like the ponytail pics. Hey, girl. You better not come back, girl. Oh, gay ass motherfuckers. Yeah, you gotta get the fuck going out of here. Yeah, it's probably somebody I know or whatever. Who cares? You know what I mean? Since I started this, I have noticed I have never had, I'm going to say this, right? And people going to take it the way they take it or whatever. I have never in my motherfucking life been attacked by my own. Do you know I have never had nothing but one white dude that I argue with on my page, and I've had tons of white people come check out my videos too, and have also commented, so they're still there. And they have never said anything derogatory to me. You know who says something derogatory or makes up fake profiles and keeps coming back after you block them 4 times now, or harasses you by leaving comments of what they think your life should be or whatever. Yo, peep this out, right? First of all, this is what I mean by the women that do this, because most of the time it's women. It was a woman that flagged my page about somebody else's video, and it took me contacting somebody I knew to be like, look, she's claiming a copyright claim, but she's not even in the video. Matter of fact, the 2 people talking aren't her. You understand what I'm saying? She wasn't beside this chick or nothing. What's her name? Black China's mother. I forgot what her name is. China, Tokyo, Paris, whatever the fuck. Her mother did an interview with Tasha K and it got explosive, so I took the clip and it was an end from her perspective. So Tasha K wasn't even in the video. Okay? Get this? So a copyright claim was made for the video. And I'm like, yo, for real, this is how niggas get down. Like, I've been fully attacked by black people the whole time, the whole ride. It does not cease. If they feel that you are not delivering the brand of fuckery that they want, if you are not delivering the brand of gossip they want, if you are not delivering the confusion they want, the drama they want, I'm saying not at the mass, but at a huge percentage, which you at least is 45%, with most of society now, because white society has theirs, Latin society definitely has theirs. You make up the prison system and the welfare line. Let's stop fronting. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and just relegate my whole conversation towards that. But if you've been on my channel for a long time, you've seen the same. I've never had nobody white. The white dude that I did get into an argument with came to my channel because he said something and he started it off, look, I'm a white dude. And I was like, I don't give a fuck what you are. Like, get the fuck off you. If that's the first thing you got to say, I definitely want to talk to you because you sound prejudiced as fuck, first of all. Even if you're not prejudiced, you just gave off that vibe that you might potentially be. So I don't want to even take a chance. You understand what I'm saying? Let's cut that shit short where it stands. You understand what I'm saying? Don't come to me with fake smiling either. I hate that fake smiling shit. I mean, you up to something. People literally make the mistake because you don't articulate like them and speak the kings and the queens and tell. I get told like that anytime I want to specifically, but I don't want to. It's not natural. I like to naturally be able to articulate what I'm saying to you and say it in swift. Sometimes I like to sit back and think about what I'm going to say, which y'all can clearly decipher many times when I talk. I've had so many African Americans come to my page and attack me, and I'm just asking why. But y'all go over and embrace the latest gossip and you beefing. Y'all like Kwame beefing with the other dude right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like Kevin Samuels getting attacked. Y'all like a whole bunch of shit or whatever. So when I say, where the fuck does Juneteenth fit and all this shit y'all celebrate when y'all ate each other's throat for resources, really? The have-nots in this decade that are from the pissy elevators, broken families, whether they trailer parks, barrios, they have seen a niche that many have, and I give it to you, I'm participating too, of how rich they can get on the internet, or via the internet, doing stupid shit. And they know there'll be a whole crowd that supports this stupid shit in totality. They will love them for it, they will embrace them for it, they will kiss them, whatever the case may be. You gotta start getting motherfuckers like that the fuck up out the way. I don't necessarily mean the way y'all think I mean either. Except in the extreme cases. Need an example? This guy shot 2 kids over here. Go bond them out. We need a fund to go bond these motherfuckers out. I wrote that for some people I used to hang out with. For a very long time. Troublemakers. Does that look like some Juneteenth shit? And even if they don't say it out their lips, that's how they feel. They hate you. Don't get on here ever ask me about my heritage, but I am about some Spanish. I got real conversations I have with Spanish all the time. On camera here. You just a goofy and just showed up. But there's this innate difference between a segment of black women and how they perceive, and many women of color, and how they perceive men of color. They perceive a lot of men of color as nothing. And I just want to tell you, what I see is something different. I see a lot of times unaccomplished women or in minor positions thinking that they have the dream job. They're better than everybody. Well, sweetie, I'm here to tell you something. I definitely don't fit in your category or trajectory. And whether you see it or not or believe it or not, I could least likely give a fuck. That's why I didn't even sit there and argue with that. You know what I mean? Let somebody want traction off my channel. Come and disrupt. Those are real agents. Why'd y'all ask them niggas who they work for? Because ask me, it sounds like they work for white supremacy. Sound like to me they work for white supremacy in the highest potentiality. Because the only thing you seem to be good at is going around starting shit with your own people. I've had black dudes right in front of me, right? And Latin dudes right in front of me. And ahead of me, there might be a white couple, white dude by himself, white woman by himself, whatever. They will not even look their direction. As soon as they get to me, they staring, what the nigga up to, what the nigga up to, and nothing about me even gets out that perception. You know where they get that from? They're single, emotional, erratic mothers that raised them. And even in some cases where guys, they raise their sons or daughters by themselves, they raise them up to be fucking trash or narcissists or just about money and that's it. No empathetic bone in their body until they finally realize to reach that plateau and age themselves and they discover and they're like, it might be too late for someone because they're like, yo, I'm really a jerk, you know? This nigga talking about Kwame ain't getting me some money. I don't want no money from Kwame or any of these other ass motherfuckers talking. I don't give a shit what they're talking about, to be quite honest with you. The shit they're talking about and the shit I'm talking about, the shit they're talking about is late. The shit they're talking about is not current. Most of the shit they're talking about is personal. Motherfuckers talking about weddings and who they beefing with on the radio, whatever. How does that change the situation for people of color? So if that's your modus operandi all the time and how you keep yourself going, then I have no interest in receiving anything from you. Matter of fact, you take your money and kick it up your ass. But remember this. Once again, I got 1.4 million fucking views. I daily put up motherfucking what's the name, man. After I get these bots off my channel, my views will go right back up to, according to who's helping me with this shit, back up to those 100,000 views and all that shit once again. So it's a short little break for those views, but that's okay. I'm not into the views because I know how the views triculate. The views, subscription rate doesn't triculate into retention of people coming back. That's what I'm looking for. I need people coming back and people who watch and people who hit that like button. Other than that, I don't give a rat's ass what you do. If you're not somebody that I talk to all the time, if you're not somebody, and that boss, I talk to her all the time. I sat on the phone with a neck the other day for 2.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Time before that, we talked for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to call me tomorrow. Don't call me tonight, goddamn, because we're going to sleep out this shit. But love you, Bookie. Shit. That's my motherfucking homie right there. Fuck all that. There's a lot of fucking destruction going on. And I'm not into celebrating no motherfucking Juneteenth right now. Hey, that shit. You better keep a motherfucking open eye, nigga. They just pulled a fucking science experiment on your ass once again. I'm getting all you motherfuckers to gather together celebratory, becoming the close circumference with each other. Mostly what they predicted, trajectorily, with no mask. Just like most motherfuckers are. And it's not a racist move. It's a move that they're implying on everybody. That's your group. I keep telling y'all that. That's your group. That's all. That's the group you belong to. That's why you see high capacities in some states with bars than we do in others. That's why you see some states relax the laws on exactly how much, you know what I mean? How many people are capacity, whether or not you have to wear your mask inside and all that shit. You know, all this, in my personal opinion, is part of this little social experiment they have going on right now in the United States, which involves all different groups. And I've been saying that all night, all different groups. This is just your group. They'll do it with Latinos, they'll do it with Indians, they'll do it with whoever else fits in the dynamic of who took that vaccination. That vaccination had no prior investigation other than minimum. Didn't get FDA approval, it got rushed through. The minimum time, I keep telling you guys, it's usually a year for preliminary, 2 years for something a little bit more solid than that preliminary year. 5 years to be on the good side, and 10 years if it's something as impactful, I would think, as this COVID-19 vaccine. And who the fuck was working on it this time that they got it up that quick? Because they were working on this shit prior. They said that in China, they had signs of the COVID-19 virus, including 4 workers who had gotten sick of it back as early as September before it started here in the United States. So 2019 going into 2020, they already had it over there, and some European countries as well. That's all I'm telling you. Y'all worried about some motherfucking Juneteenth. That shit was to set you up. We want to talk about Juneteenth on the news before Biden signed the shit. Why talk about it now? And more importantly, where the fucking checks? Where the checks? And you might as well get some of the Mexican people the checks too. Shit, LA used to be Mexico. The motherfuckers too busy assimilating nowadays though. Hi Brian, I'm Brian Mendez. You better stop that shit. Them niggas set you up for servitude. Whenever you take that position, trust me, somebody worked for the music industry for 17 years for a black company with black and Latin employees. Once you take that position, they will always look at you in that position. From day one, you meet somebody, we know this, you know? Like, people just know this, that's born and raised. And that's one of the things I hate when I see people of any cultural background come here and immigrate and start doing that brown nose and ass kissing. That ain't gonna get you ahead. Trust me. And if you ain't made $100,000 in 1 year, don't get in a fucking conversation with me about fucking money and life. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done 3 times the shit you never will do, mostly, especially if you have to afford it. You know what I'm saying? I was doing that shit in my 20s and 30s. I traveled all across the country, spent all kinds of fucking money, been with all kinds of different motherfucking people you could think of. You know what I'm saying? They got the pictures and video to prove it, which I post all the time, so I don't have to do all that shit. My point is, I ran with a big company, so I never had to. I can't think of one time that I did that for any of them. I was like kissing ass. Maybe that's why I didn't sell as far as I could, because some of the other guys would kiss ass. I'm not calling out any particular names, but I just used to see it around the office. Call it what it is. I don't kiss ass. I never have. I'm a Taurus. Fuck you. May 14th. I just had my birthday pass. I'm a Taurus. Fuck you. That attitude is the attitude that all our nations, millionaires and billionaires, and world's millionaires and billionaires have. I'm in charge. Fuck you. I'm also a person that ran his own company before. I'm also a person that has a new company again, which is Lewis Oil Company, development company to be specific, with shipping container homes. Kissing folks' ass will get you nowhere. Many of you ain't got that money, they're not gonna be nice. That's how they operate. Oh, that's too bad. You want us to come back next week? That'll be your reply. I've seen more than enough in my little years on this earth. I know when I see troublemakers in the black community. I know when I see troublemakers in the Latin community. I know when I see motherfucking white men of a certain tier that are on the prey for the next slave, the next motherfucker to cuddle up under them and make them the pet. I don't play that shit. Don't put your fucking arm around me. That's why I love when Jay-Z do that. Niggas come up behind him. First of all, you ain't got as much money as me. Where the fuck is my security? Remember that guy put his arm around Jay-Z at the football game? Jay just, oh, not your boy. And I don't care how much you think your skin color guarantees you everything. I'm guaranteeing you, based off the movie you just made right now, my security gonna come fuck you up. That much you can't believe in. I'm worth $1 billion, $1 billion. They can say what the fuck you want to it about security. Let's talk big money now. Don't talk that 80,000 shit to me. I don't like that shit. That shit's cool. Like I said, right? People, please let it be beknownst to you. But there are some people of color out here that just don't like other people of color and find them as targets. And this Juneteenth celebration, I just really ain't feeling it. I don't think it's the right time. I think it's speculative why they dropped it right now. I think there's some cool tensions because they know the same demographics I know from across the states and across the country, that a lot of urban areas and white areas, specifically white rural areas, having an uptick in violence. Yes, y'all are. Huh? There wasn't nobody black that went in there and shot at that grocery store in Colorado. And there wasn't no black dude that stood on top of the Madeline Bay Hotel and shot 500 country music western people at a concert. You know what I'm saying? Come on. There ain't the way to go. Yeah. cigarette went out. And when you tally up all the mass shootings, it's something, man, it's in the thousands for this time of year. It's in the thousands. A mass shooting is anything considerable. 3 or more people get hit in one city. Thousands. It surpassed the number earlier than before. Thousands. Not tens of thousands, but thousands, more thousands, but thousands, nevertheless. Mayor Lightfoot in Chicago got on that broadcast and she talked about how racism was the biggest problem they had in Chicago. I've now heard 5 black gentlemen and 2 black women say the total opposite, including in her constituency, which is violence is your biggest problem right now. And crooked police that would rather eradicate them kids than reform them. And they showed you that with the I think it was a Puerto Rican kid that they shot and killed. When it was this man, that punk motherfucker that was older, that had actually had the gun and gave it to him. That boy was 15 years old. 15. And they have some type of sonic system set out there because that particular part of Chicago is heavily Latino. There's black folks living in there too. Wherever you see black folks living, you're gonna see some Latinos. And if you don't see it like that, you're gonna see black, white, and Latino. Every neighborhood I live in some of the best damn neighborhoods. You ain't gonna tell me that shit. There's always a sprinkle, and some Indian folks. There's always a sprinkle of them somewhere. Don't give me that bullshit right there. I'm not buying it. This Juneteenth thing is just a mistake. And y'all think y'all gonna see it later on, and that's all I got to say about that. I'm not here to gossip. I don't have any gossip going on as far as my personal life. I'm going to meet with my guy tomorrow. We're gonna find out what the end game was on this little application that I filled out for this new car. So we'll see what goes on with that. Hopefully I'll get it. I hope I do. If I don't, then we got to move on to the next one to find another one. But let me say this: I like my home, and I like where I'm at, and I don't want to leave here. I know this city is going to bounce back. It's going to come back to the way it was. There was a lot of people that matriculated here, moved here just recently during the pandemic, and they are attributed to a lot of the economy here, or whatever. So I don't want to leave the state of Connecticut. I love Connecticut. It's beautiful here, and still urban in its own right, but at the same time, a clean urban, and for the most part, good people. A lot of assholes here too. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but one of the main reasons a lot of people say that they left Connecticut was because of the jobs and the people. Jobs and the people. So maybe I've become numb to it. I don't know. At some point, I don't know. How do you get kind of used to the Northeast, not even accent, but attitude, if you want to say, especially when you get into New England out here. Right here, it's like the cusp of New England and New York, so it's kind of like a mixture of suburban New York and rural Connecticut, like mixed in together. It's hard to explain. I don't know, man. But I want to stay here, so I'm hoping that hope things work out, whatever for the best for me, whatever. I know I used to get on here repeatedly and talk about the homeless situation, everything like that. And I guarantee you, I still will, guys. Trust me. But I just need to break out. Like, so many people hear me on this mic and they have really no idea how tired I am. And I'm talking about, don't say that you're tired too, because you're a different type of tired than I am. I mean, my body is programmed a certain way, so I don't even get that much sleep, like for real. And it was programmed like that prior to that anyway, from the music industry. Like, get 4 hours, get 5 hours. I've never been a good sleeper for the past, how long was I? 17 years, almost 2 decades. But this past 3 years, it really took a toll on me. It really did. People were even telling me, it was like, yo, you don't need to do that. You need to rest. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I got to keep going, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know. It's shit real. I got to keep going. Because if I don't keep going, You know, ain't nothing gonna happen for me. That's why I had a problem with Sailor Moon or whatever her name is, or whoever the fuck that was, coming on dictating me what I should do in my life. Let me tell you something, motherfucker. I worked for black people for 17 motherfucking years, one of the top motherfuckers in the game, and one of the richest in the United States of that complexion, any motherfucker. But who else you know got close to $1 billion? All right, that's two of them I just mentioned, Jay and him. Been on Forbes consecutively over the past 15, almost damn near 20 years. Always makes it 4, 5. Well, I think except for 1 year he didn't make it. Kanye beat him. Multiple owner and multiple different entities and vehicles. Monetarily. So we ain't talking about no small potatoes here, all right? So don't give me that shit, all right? And I got pictures and everything else with them, around them, throughout the years of me being in the offices. So make no mistake about it, the vice president himself, formerly, Sean Prez, came and validated that for me. I ain't gotta do that, so don't say shit to me. First it was I was never in the music industry. The niggas found out I was in the music industry. They ain't know how in depth I was in the music industry. Then it changed to, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? He ain't work for Prez, he worked for, then Prez come on and say he's work. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers go back and forth like little girls. Like little girls. That's why I said, a lot of these men out here ain't really never really young girls. Hey, girl. Motherfuckers. I'm trying to tell you, a lot of these boys grown up. That's why I always be weary of niggas that pound on their chest about, I'm a man. You gotta watch some of them, because some of them so full of testosterone or whatever the fuck else they shoot or doing to bulk up like that. You know what I'm saying? That they live in a tick, and I'm like, damn, I got this 350. Where my motherfucking shit at? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but this is the way the world we live in, man, and it makes me nervous or whatever. But I know here in Stanford, you know, this town right here, this town gonna bounce back. It's already bouncing back. But by next year, it will not look like this, and everything, hopefully, will be back to normal or worse. One of the two, hopefully back to normal. And I just survived it. I survived the beginning of this pandemic in the Bronx. Took myself out of the Bronx after 4 months of the pandemic. And you saw my whole journey, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be more to it than this, too. You know what I mean? Somebody been talking to me about that, and I appreciate them talking to me about that. I did not think of that. And that's a wonderful idea. Yeah, that is definitely a wonderful idea. Thank you for the person. If you see this, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you. That is a wonderful idea, and especially when you have the means to have it pulled together. That's why I said God said swing me these special, unique black people and Latin people and white people. The riffraff come here because it's good. It's a natural vibe here. You understand? All that riffraff, all that trash, that riffraff. Riffraff do shit like that. People with mental problems do shit like that. And then I've had people come up. Sailor Moon made a fake profile now twice, talking about, I got a mental problem. Yeah, bitch, I told you. Whole camera. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember me telling you that? I suffer from anxiety and depression. I said from the beginning. So I always put my shit out there. I ain't scared. Everybody else want to be Hollywood. I ain't scared. Get that shit out in the open. That's part of the story. That's part of the story. And the story it is. A true story. Maybe one of the last real American ones. How the kid came back and won. He didn't do it with the industry's help. He did it with the people's help. You know? Guys, I got to get a ball for here. I'm going to talk more about this Juneteenth thing again. I had some other stuff that I had is lying in my head. For example, I want to talk about what actually happened with a lot of these slaves once they found out they were free via Juneteenth. A lot of them were recaptured. Just as you see in 12 Years a Slave. In fact, 12 Years a Slave is based on that same ideology and practices that were going on. Where they would trick, especially the educated slaves. That's what they had the fun in and the hunt. That's why I keep trying to tell you that same mentality exists to this day. The educated slaves, if you want to say, or the educated blacks in general, they were even free men. They always went after them first. They'll do the same thing with the other different subcategory groups of minorities that come here that somehow or another united with themselves, but don't want to unite with the ones that have been here the longest. And I say to you, good luck with that. Oh, this nation of white folks, they love their real natives, if you want to say here. They love their natives. They'll smile with you, bullshit with you, have a cookout. Hell, in some cases they even let their daughter reluctantly or son reluctantly marry you. But and that might be because you're a professional. But do realize the top neurosurgeon in the world is a man named Ben Carson, who's also Secretary for HUD. Excuse me. And that gentleman is the world-renowned surgeon. Being occupant is a beautiful thing. It really is. If you're opulent, you can do a lot of things with being opulent, but also being opulent is a few power way to the devil. I know this because I've seen the devil in the music industry. You can't tell me nothing about big money. Or if y'all wonder what I'm drinking, this Arizona green tea. See? That nigga drinking a beer. You know, they like to make up all kinds of shit on everybody. Like, he doing this, he doing that, he doing this. I ain't doing shit. I do shit that I don't have to spend money because I know how to save money. That's what I do. I do shit that don't cost money. You don't force no money for me sitting here, kick it with y'all, give y'all the little knowledge I know, whatever. But none of these slaves, a lot of these slaves were recaptured, man. A lot of these slaves didn't even make it, they were killed, you know? And nobody talks about that part of it. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't just all fucking giving a hand ride brigade all the way up to Canada, New York and shit. But New York had its own slaves, the territory around it had slaves too, including Jersey and Connecticut. You know? Shit they don't talk about. Y'all like my $5 sweatpants? These just wavy, right? They made of like Velcro or whatever. I got these shits in Harlem for $5. The socks I got for $2. These joints I got on, y'all can't see them, but I think I got these for like 15 or so. And of course, the New York special, the white t-shirts, you already know, you know what I'm saying? $9. I keep that shit a buck, son. Fuck it. I don't want all that dope shit. John, fucking Ferragamo. I got all kinds. I still got a pair of Ferragamo shoes too. I'll wear them one day. I got them in my storage. I got some badass Ferragamo joints too, because they're like, they're the walnut color on the side, and they have this green, emerald green, but it's not ugly felt on it. And it's beautiful the way it comes together. I barely wear them because, like, I don't want to ever fuck them up. But I know I can take them to a cobbler or something like that. That's the person that fixes shoes. And they can fix them for me if need be. You know, they can repair them. But they're not even in that shape. These motherfuckers are still brand new. I pair of Steve Maddens, I still have dress boots. I always wear those. I wore those for my interview for my, hopefully, new landlord. So, you know, like, I've done all that little cute shit. I ain't never fucking expensive clothes no more. Expensive clothes are taking over. I sold some of my clothes before I moved on fucking, what's the name, on eBay. I did too. That is no lie. I sold a couple pieces of my clothes and shit on eBay. Damn sure did. Factory. That is a fact. That is a fucking fact. Yeah, I did the clothes things, been around all the cars, all that shit, been in them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm good with that shit. I'm like, right now, we need people that are philanthropic. And especially in the music industry, or especially these bloggers on YouTube making thousands of dollars, and apparently don't share with anybody but friends and family of their own, you know, or have a you know, whatever, talking engagement and make money off that on top of it, you know. And I don't really understand what you guys are talking about, because you're not talking about anything current, you're talking about everything in the past. We have to get these guys in line of what's going on right now. And I'm surprised there's not more of y'all, because y'all know better, speaking against this Juneteenth shit. Y'all know. Y'all know. Y'all know this shit is a lineup. That's the whole thing. Y'all know it's a lineup. You know? I can understand if you didn't. But you know it's a lineup. You've seen this shit. You old enough to know this shit didn't happen. Listen, in my lifetime, and I'm younger, this shit did happen at least 2 times that I seen. You gonna let it happen again? This time it's on you, because now it's on YouTube. And you gonna say I come back to haunt you. I know how the music game goes. When you drop an album, you at your peak. Then when you don't have an album out, you go to a low, right? These motherfucking YouTubers don't know how to do that. They don't know how to navigate around that. That's the ploy I use from this shit right here. Yeah, I'll be low right now, but I see it even now. You know, you throw up that one piece of footage that everybody want to get, you know, boom, there it is, you know, but I don't want to do that. I can easily do that. There's stories I know about when they're happening, unraveling and all that shit. I can just drop it, like, you know, whatever. I don't want to do that. I'm not with the shock jock shit. I'm trying to navigate y'all to something a little bit more different that should have been on here 5 years ago. And hopefully, you know what I mean, through whatever y'all support is or whatever, I get back to what I'm doing. But it's something different. And most of it, you see on here, I offer for free. You know what I mean? And I find it kind of crass anyway. If you wealthy or whatever, I would tell niggas, yo, don't send me no donations. I'm good. What y'all sending me donations for? You know what I'm saying? Or take that pot and have every week, pick out somebody you give the money to. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Not that Chuck shit. Niggas be on here acting like superstars on YouTube. I'll be like, nigga, I work with superstars. Y'all ain't no superstars. Y'all just some motherfuckers get some traction. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be momentarily. Voice Walkers drop down. All of them drop down after a while. All artists appreciate value. You know what I'm saying? All artists. Maybe not monetarily, but popularity-wise, yes. Times transcend, they change. Your message is not there as coherent to the masses. Some people transcend that, but you know what I mean? Your message is not as coherent and as impactful as it once was. Because of the changing thoughts, the changing ideas, the changing ideologies, the changing rules people fall by. There's many different factors in it, you know? But more importantly, it's like a lot of people don't know how to circumnavigate around that, and they fall victim to that, and you know. So you're hot and you're cold. You're hot and you're cold. You gotta predict for the cold times to come. That's how we do it. I don't know. Y'all niggas think about it. This gonna last forever. I was like that Dickie broad on there with Kevin Samuels talking about, what did she say? She said, yeah, and the OnlyFans, and I can make this last 20 years on OnlyFans, shorty, and you spending all the money you get. Like she buy rings, Birkins, you know, like, listen, man, don't ever mess with a chick that's solely into that shit. Y'all both gonna be fucked up. Like, I swear to God, y'all both gonna be fucked up. You know what I mean? If she invests her shit in Birkin, and like, I ain't trying to say don't get that for her. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when you start saturating your whole motivation into material shit and everything is for a look, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't none of that shit real. Like, all the shit is for a look. Like, I done watched hundreds of rappers be everywhere in every state you could think of. You know what I'm saying? And go broke because of them. Young Buck went broke because of them motherfucking renters. This motherfucker would take renters, wouldn't return them, or drop them off at the wrong spot, and now it's called missing. So now it's an extra, you know what I'm saying, $2,000 to $3,000 a day as it's missing. That accumulates a week out of that through the math. You know what I'm saying? What's the setback on that? 50 Cent, when he had his house here in Connecticut, and it was Mike Tyson's old crib, he said he was paying $12,000 a month in the upkeep. What's the setback on that for you? You gotta be able to afford that. Don't talk that big money shit to me. I'll smash you. You know what I'm saying? Real quick with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was in the streets, which you're talking about motherfuckers that was making, they estimated us to make $72,000 in, what was it, 5 months at that spot? I said, God damn, they were talking about that was just the transactions they had done. You know what I'm saying? So you could imagine. So you know what I mean? Like even before I was with Bad Boy, I'm authentic for that shit. I ain't gotta put no bragging on it or nothing. I did that shit. I lived the life and I did the business. You ain't gotta tell me nothing about nothing. I got the record to prove it. I didn't get cut with no crumbs and standing on the corner. Call me an investigation. So, get the fuck out of here with that one. I got to go with a nice slab of the shit, well, cooked but uncut. And asking where it was hiding, it wasn't on me. You would have never known unless a motherfucker told on me. Motherfucker told on me. And I made the mistake of talking too much. But I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. That was somebody Latina that did that. Latina I was dating, and later on, after I go away, she ends up screwing my boy. I was like, wow. This is crazy. Whatever. He got his fucked up life too, whatever. I tell you like this straight up and down, man. Hard knock life, whatever you want to call it, whatever. I went through a transition. I'm in an enlightening now. And that's why I've been talking so much about the homeless thing and everything like that, because I'm in an enlightening period now. And that enlightening period for me is just getting back to who I was, learning how to love, learning how to actually take people for their personalities, even though my personality may conflict with theirs, and try to be kind of understanding, but at the same time, there's only so much I would take out of that shit, you know what I mean? And I will crack you in your fucking head. I don't take the claim and being goofy and, like all that stuff. Like, say that for the people that you say are the enemy. Say that for the people that you say are oppressive. I'm not talking about go attack a certain group of people. I'm talking about to come down to individuals within that group, attack them. That's what we need you to do. Like that kid getting followed by that Latino dude, that should have when they bailed him out. Bailed the Latino dude out. Whoop that ass. Should have got a chick to go bond him out, whoop that ass. You gotta kill him or beat him and let him know. That's how motherfuckers used to do things. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Whatever happened to the realness from back in the days? Whatever happened to the realness from back in the day? AZ. RZA. Get that track up. Whatever happened? That shit RZA spit on there is still pertinent to this day. I heard that when I was a young boy. And stay suspicious of promiscuous bitches that don't wash and do dishes. Beg for your britches while lusting riches. Fuck with the next man's bitches, then you wonder why your pussy itches. That shit is it's so intricate the way he says that shit. It's just like, yo, that shit is still true. He say, and stay suspicious of promiscuous bitches that don't wash and do dishes, lusting for riches, beg for your britches while lusting riches. And that shit always stuck with me. Like that one line always stuck. I remember that shit to this day. That shit gotta be like 12 years old. I still remember that shit to say. That's crazy. That's amazing. I remember that lyric because, it's like a lot of women and a lot of dudes. I had to do a whole recalibration. And that's what I mean by this little enlightenment time I'm having in my life right now. This being to me, this is the first time I'm really thinking like, I ain't gonna be nowhere. I can sit down. Even prior to this, I'm talking about the music industry too. I ain't gotta be nowhere. I ain't gotta be in this state. I ain't gotta be over here. I ain't gotta be at this club. I can just. The relaxation is good. It really is. But, it's time to get back active, and I've been working on that. So I hope that y'all will applaud that. I hope y'all will support it, both with your attendance and financially. I am definitely on my way back up, and I hope that the information that I do provide, the things I do say, even though I edit a lot, I have to, because monetarily nobody contributes to me like a Kevin Samuels or Boyce Watkins or these guys or whatever, that y'all put in positions that y'all feel are worthy of that or whatever. And I don't hate on these guys. Each individual one, I share this shit. Each individual one I have my likes for different specific reasons, and I think that united they can do some powerful shit. Each one would just have to shut the fuck up about their own personal morals. You know what I mean, boys? Kwame? Know what I mean, boys? Both of y'all have to shut the fuck up about your personal fucking days. Kwame, you too smart to be doing shit like that. You smart as fuck. And take the fucking braids out your head, look like you just got out of jail and shit. Do that shit, put that shit in a style or something. I don't know. Do something with that. The way those braids are in your head, this shit don't look right. Kev, I'm glad to see you put some fucking socks on. Put some fucking socks on. And boys, stop fucking bickering at every fucking body. Fucking body. I swear, your fat portly ass, you be out running right here like you some gangster. You ain't no fucking gangster, G. For real. You know what I'm saying with gangster? Gangster is when that day when I was walking behind your ass in fucking Harlem, nigga. That's gangster shit. When I caught you not even 3 weeks after that in Brooklyn. Over at the home, giving one of your little lectures. Yeah, a lot of people out there too. You know what I'm saying? The police had pulled up too, so it was like, yeah. Police was out there trying to see who all these niggas were. He's in Brooklyn. So stop, chilling, huh? Word. You know, like people I know over there, so make no mistake about it. I like voice pockets. You know what I mean? It's not about that. Shout out to Tompkins. Shout out to Marcy. You know what I mean? I don't, even though they beef, it's still, you know what I mean? Maybe Jerry. I'm getting all personal and shit. These guys formed as a fucking unit and do some amazing things. And instead, what you're seeing is the bulk of the motherfucking entertainment that y'all getting on YouTube is nothing but bickering gospel to reiterate stories that are popularly known, not those stories that are not as well known and people should know about and directed them to. You know what I mean? And I don't know for whatever reason why that is, but it is just the way it is. But y'all applaud that. And I'm not talking about my listeners here, but I'm talking about in general. The masses, they applaud that for whatever reason, whatever. And I noticed in my own self, when I was in the drama, everybody was paying attention. I get the drama removed on my own, make no mistake about that, with the help and support from a few, but on my own. And I do mean a few, you know what I'm saying? I have motherfuckers come on my page and like, yo, I'm gonna donate to you, son. And then they never donate to me, right? Then I go to somebody else's page. I saw a motherfucker get somebody $80. I was like, yo, word? Shit like that. Because they don't like me. I don't know why they don't like me. You know what I'm saying? I had somebody else say, oh, you half Latino, so I can't donate to you. I was like, wow, this. I blocked them with quickness. I said, that's how you feel? Like, really? Like, that's fucking corny as shit. Like, who the fuck does that? I can easily go and market myself to whites and Latinos like that. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, I'm better at that than I am, you know what I'm saying? Previously anyway. I'm better at that. But nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I think it's a calling that I need to warn people about. A whole bunch of shit might come your way. You know what I'm saying? And it's coming in the next 3 or 4 years. It's not a long duration of time. It's the lateral point that you're on right now and transversing it. It's dangerous. The shit you applaud, the shit you donate to, all these things are the influence being rewarded. And if it's bad influence, it's not a good thing. It's like rewarding the devil or demons. And you're inviting those demons into your life. Whether you know it or not, you're inviting those same demons in your life by the behavior itself. You see what I'm saying? And as well as me too, I have my own demons I have to battle against every day. As we all do. As we all do. But I don't want y'all to get that confused with this one thing. That it has to be some change and it has to be quickly. Because if you don't and change the trajectory of this, I hate all. Like, it's almost like black people hate each other. And it's a lot of people, Latin people too. It's almost like they hate each other. They hate being able to cover each other. If they ain't circumference each other, they gotta outdo each other. If they ain't trying to outdo each other, they're trying to, sabotage another one. I've been sabotaged. That nigga that just came on the page, a chick came on the page earlier named Terry, they were trying to sabotage my life. So what else do you call that? Do you have another name for that? Because I don't. You were trying to sabotage my life by your interference. And you did it intentionally, so therefore you are part of what organization that supports far right wingers? I don't know. That sounds like the white supremacist move right there. If you ain't over at Fox, I go over to Fox and leave comments. I go over to far right wingers pages and leave comments and have them come back to my page and YouTube filters block them. But I see the message they left, at least partially of it anyway, because of the notifications. You know what I'm saying? I'd have them say all kinds of shit about me. I had one motherfucker call me when I go bark at the moon like you dogs do. That's what he wrote. I took a screenshot of it. I posted the one with two shit. Don't fuck with them. What y'all, you scared? Motherfucker scared? They're scared to go fuck with them. The people that do that shit. They don't want to get those type of threats out because they think they might be real. Shit, fucking with these black dudes, that shit be real. That's what I don't understand. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know what actual connections someone may have to quickly get you the fuck up out of here with no problem. Like, it's not about the jokes. It's about more so that, like, I've seen people on here threaten people's families. I've had some notorious shit said about my family, me, myself, how I was this, how I was that, or whatever. And any motherfucker, I'll say again, that claims that they for the people and all that shit or whatever, and they speak against entrepreneurship versus going to slave yourself. Like, you can even say I was a slave, or at least I was a slave for black slavers. You know? And yes, there is a difference. There is a big substantial difference in plus and minuses equally. But I'm not going to sit here and berate people or jump on their lives or whatever. I talk a little shit. We all talk a little shit in the chat room, but I never go with people and call them. You can look at any shit I write. I never go with people and call them all kinds of names and do best stuff. Even if I don't like what they're saying. I don't do that. Because you have to have some form of dignity and candor at some point in your life. You can't walk around all society and just don't have it. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people nowadays, is they walk around and kind of, it's kind of this do what thy will type of mentality amongst everybody. And it's more prevalent online than anything else, but still exists. You know what I mean? And it exists in a form that's like sickening. It's so such narcissism and shit like embedded within it, that it's like each individual person, they think they're so fucking special. Where like 10 years ago, you would have been a fucking nobody. We would have beat you up and you would have been paying for our lunch. That's just 10, 15 years ago. You would have been considered a nerd. Now these nerds are like kind of bold, and I'm like, yo, listen, I will snap your fucking neck out, don't you know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't play that fucking courage shit with me. For real. Unless you do at least 30 push-ups a day, don't play that fucking courage shit with me, bro. And courage shit. I'm at work, and somebody will break it up. I'll wait for you to come fuck up out of work. And have 3 other guys with me with the trunk open. What are you talking about? I was a real fucking criminal. I don't know what these other guys talking about. I was a real fucking deal. Me and the guys I ran with, we were fucking criminals. Shit, these guys doing the opportunist. I did that first before I worked for the working industry. And I'll say this much to you. There was some notorious motherfuckers around then too. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Yeah, Tokyo Tony. Good luck with the appointment tomorrow, Devin. I'm going to sleep. Catch your rest later. Thank you, and that definitely. I'm just going to even this out for about 20 more minutes, guys, and then I'm out of here myself. I just want to come talk to y'all real quick because I like rapping with y'all and I ain't do it all day or whatever. And I don't give a fuck who get mad. You say what you want to. Write something bad. It's Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. Also, the PayPal link is in the description. If you click the link from the community section, the link is also right there for those who couldn't find it previously. And also, will be a pinned link in the description box. Excuse me, the comment section. If you don't find it there, you can just go to any of my earlier videos. You will also find the same thing. $Cash App. $STRINGERBELL80. Again, that's $Cash App, STRINGERBELL80. Stringer Bell 80. Thank you guys. Please hit that too, man, because I got wants and needs just like everybody else. I want to go. Well, I need about 2 suits, but you know what I'm saying? Everything helps. You know what I mean? Especially right now. I am not out of my thing, and I will find out tomorrow if I got this APT. So I'm trying to, hope and pray I do. That would be a burden off of me and the beginning of smooth sailing again for my life. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm humble with my shit, whatever. I ain't got no kids, I ain't got no girlfriend, I ain't got no wife. You know what I mean? So it's just me and the D. You know what I mean? Slinging the D around the town. Nah, I'm just playing. My boy Cal was. I miss my boy Cal, man. Shout out to Cal and Niantic. I miss fucking Cal. Cal and fucking Schmo. That's my boy. Fucking Schmo, man. That's my man. We got a Schmo too. There's another Schmo. He used to be on this YouTube channel, whatever. Some people know what I'm talking about. We had our Schmo too. Short little dumpy fucker. He had glasses, but that's our mix. I'll tell you guys this, man. I'm gonna get up off here in a few minutes. I don't support this Juneteenth shit. I don't support motherfuckers that don't be supporting other motherfuckers. Especially if you see your shit tagged or whatever, you just go, oh, well, so-and-so shared me. Pick out the motherfuckers that share you all the time, man, because that's about to come to a halt too. I don't need to share y'all niggas to get views. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't. And to be quite honest with you, most of you that I do share is because I believe something within what you're talking about. Maybe not all of it, I do. You know what I'm saying? And as popular as many of you think you are now, I can very much tell you that very quickly, because the attention span in America has been shortened drastically, that your type of diatribe will soon come to an end. And people will not have the attention span for the shit you're talking about any longer. Especially when it revolves around gossiping and drama. This whole happy-go-lucky attitude that we are now admittedly involved in here in this country with fake happiness and all that shit is now going to take an evolution to it. And it'll do it in the latter part of this year going into 2022 if my predictions are right, which I always believe in my predictions. Because I'm on camera making quite a few, or on the mic, on radio, or other people's radio stations, making quite a few of them, such as OG Mag Drama and a couple other people. I was the one that was talking about streaming was going to come in and take over everything. Ta-da! And they laughed at me when I said it. I'm on record for saying it. Blog Talk Radio, OG Mag Drama featuring Davin Lewis. It'll be about 8 or 9 of them to pop up. Just enter that in on Google. Go check those out. You know what I'm saying? I might download a couple of them myself and edit them and throw them up too so you guys can hear them. These go back 7, 8 years. So, I've been on the mic for a minute, and I was always preaching the same shit. That is one thing, if you see any of my old videos from the other outlets where I used to use on social media to do my videos, I always kept consistent with the same talk. I always talked the same, always, you know what I mean? I got on here and I kept it a buck because, like, from the era that I'm out of, that's what motherfuckers did. And this era is like, the faker you keep it, the more we like it. And I just can't rock with that shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, I really can't rock with that attitude. I can't rock with that facet of society nowadays. And there's other little different groups. There's so many different groups within African American culture now that is crazy. Because you got all these different groups. You got, like, even if you're talking about sexual orientation, you're talking about how they identify as far as socially, you're talking about the music they listen to and they're influenced by. It can be a multitude of different things, and it's a cataclysm of different styles that are all bulked into one. That's kind of like how I am. But there's many people that have a deeper matriculation of that same thought process and exertion of style. And the way they are, it's like, it's crazy because they're so young that they're mixed in emotion and mixed in thought and mixed on how to execute those thoughts and make them come. Just like, I was before I started with the music business and shit. So it's like, I understand that, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know if y'all know my story, but how I happened to get in the music business from my man, Ron. And it just happened to be, I was in Times Square. They came out and I saw everybody with Bad Boy. And I've always been like quick. Quick. I'm always quick. That's why I know all the people I know. I'm quick. Ooh, who that? I need to talk to them. And I can see from a mile away when a motherfucker's trying to pretend like they somebody that I need to talk to. And sometimes I'm wrong, but most of the time I'm right. You know what I'm saying? I can snip a motherfucker a mile away that's in debt. They got a certain motherfucking joke to their neck when they walk past you. That's how you know. How this nigga got better than me? His face. Oh, I know that face right there. I know that face right there. Oh, too well. Been seeing it all my life. I know that face. That fake pride face. I know that face. Motherfucker, you owe 300 how much thousands in taxes now again? They ain't exactly setting the world on fire, are you there, Joey? Socially, anyway. But his claim fame to be my hairstring. I hear that in the fucking back, man. In a lot of cases, my hair be longer than theirs is currently. It was longer than theirs when it's currently. Most cases. That's what funny shit is. When you think you're the only person girl, I don't want your hair. I don't want to look like you. It's like, I'm perfectly comfortable. And I think a lot of people don't understand that in different cultures. I am perfectly comfortable. Everybody in this world emulates me. Whether it be their music. I listen to Latin hip-hop, and it's nothing but black hip-hop. And I'm kind of confused why a lot of these Latin artists are not getting more black artists to jump on their albums, and why a lot of black artists are not demanding it. And I'll talk about that again later. Because I think at this point, Bad Bunny, Cardi B, or whether it be numerous other people, you know what I mean, that put them on. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning, they were black. And when they got to where they were getting to, because of those people who were black, they somehow or another all of a sudden forgot that, I need to put on some black artists or some, you know what I mean, myself as a thank you. Same thing with Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's Usher's artist. Just like Lady Gaga's Akon's artist. To this day. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. Shout out to D-Tech over there too. That's my motherfucking man over there at Akon Music. You know what I'm saying? Word up. Shout out to motherfucking D-Tech. Y'all ever talk to D-Tech? Tell me no Davin Lewis. He gonna say all good things about me, and especially he knows this because I interviewed him on OG Mac Drama's radio station out in Arizona. You know what I'm saying? So, they gonna speak well of me. D-Tech. It's Akon's first cousin. You know what I'm saying? Been in there since the beginning. So, ain't no Chuck. Akon over in Africa right now is trying to build his own city type money. You know what I'm saying? Literally. So, I hope the plans fall out the way they should in Africa. He has provided solar panels to African villages over there so they can have running water and irrigation and everything else. So, that's what you do with the money. Akon's doing it, so who gonna talk against that, right? How come that's not happening in America? How come that's not happening on YouTube or anywhere else? I don't know. That person that wrote that, Terry, said, Kwame Brown ain't gonna donate to you. I already know that. I don't want Kwame Brown to donate to me, and be quite honest with you, I mean, I don't respect him or any other black YouTuber too anyway. They're too vain. They're too vain. They're all about them. And they're egotistical narcissists, most of them. They've never been in the position before. I'm very different. I have been in the spotlight before. Immensely, you know what I mean? I've been on every TV network you probably think of. NBC, ABC, and CBS. In one form, fashion, or another. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's been an interview, back up an interview, or fucking on the street, or at the court trial for a puff. You know what I mean? And MTV for 2 seasons consecutively dancing. So, I have no check. I have a pretty goddamn good resume, If you can find those episodes of Direct Effects, man, that's the ones I'm on. I'm on the third and fourth season. This video with me and Eve, I was dancing on stage. Like we were to accompany me, the artists that were showing up. So, like they would pick a segment of us that were the best dancers, and they would put us right there. Whatever, Terrence Clayton, who's from right here in New Haven, Connecticut. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Terrence. We still talking. He's now on the production team for 50 Cent's new shows and the spinoffs from, I guess, whatever the one was with Ghost and all that. I never watched that show. I know it's Sumi, but I never watched that show yet. So, you know what I mean? But he's doing that or whatever. So, I ran into Terrence when we was doing Power Moves Maker just before the fucking, what's the name, started, the pandemic started, at our shooting location down in Brooklyn. And I ran into him there. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad. Best thing we could have fucking done. Best thing. And a lot of the people I ran into from just being at that podcast of Sean Presence and being able to interact with, it's a beautiful thing. So, and the one-on-one that I got, you'll never get that. You'll never get that. No CEO or OG like that has the time to sit down in the room with you and discuss business like that to the depth they were, unless you are on their caliber monetarily, socially, or whatever the case may be, or an influencer that they are influenced by themselves. You're not going to get that audience. You never will. I'll tell you that right now. Not like it was with Power Moves Makers. And hopefully, as things start easing up or whatever, that shooting location will come back, and I'll be right back too. You know what I'm saying? Like factory. Definitely. God bless you on that one. Guys, come over this Juneteenth thing the way you do, and look at some of the pluses and minuses of it being right now, introduced right now on America. See what you might come out of it. I'm going to put that clip up like I told you about that Mexican guy talking about he was at war with black people, which many Latinos feel that way. It's a social economic apply for resources. And you're going to have to fight over resources. I keep telling you, y'all don't believe me. You're going to have to be in physical war over resources. Read my lips. You're going to be in physical war with other minorities over resources. Not white people. Other minorities. There are other minorities that know this, and they're actually prepared to take you out, but you over there, not aware of this, and it could be substantially devastating for the culture. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a fight for resources. And please spread that message. I don't give a fuck who gives out the message or whatever. It doesn't matter. Spread the fucking message. You know what I mean? I'm not here to argue with motherfuckers, but I will argue with you. You know what I mean? I will dismantle you and prove you wrong and everything else. I've done it 1,000 times. I'm very good at it. But I'm not here to argue. I'm here to have people spread the message and hopefully get some change out of it. You know what I mean? And see the culture and people forward. And I don't think that any of these other, there are many, but I don't think any of these, the people that have the lowest views on YouTube, I notice are some of the most humblest YouTubers. And I hope they wouldn't change when they started getting thousands upon thousands of views. I've been there, done it. But I hope that they don't change. But those are the people you're trying to need to look for and propel. The guy that's got a channel, he's only doing 500 views or, whatever. Look for those guys. They seem to be a lot more authentic than these, prime time YouTubers. These prime time YouTubers talking about they got their own brand on the backs of Google. Google owns YouTube, homie. And they own everything that you fucking upload. Please believe that. Guys, Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. Also, PayPal link is in the description. So you guys can click PayPal if you don't want to use that. And other than that, man, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I just wanted to give a couple little thoughts and jabs or whatever, what I thought of Juneteenth. If you didn't catch it, just go back to the beginning, replay this, like, share with your friends or whatever. Tell them about me if they never checked me out or whatever. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody new that comes. If you think of somebody that's antagonistic and you invite them to my page, I'm blocking you and the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Except for a certain circumstance. You know what I mean? But I appreciate y'all all nevertheless. So once again, like I said, if y'all appreciate anything y'all heard tonight, Cash App $STRINGERBELL80. Also, the link is in the description for PayPal. I am a man coming out of homelessness with basically nothing. So all contributions that I get to go towards my furniture and everything else or whatever that's not being provided for me, I reiterate, not being provided for me, you know what I mean, will be surely appreciated. I am with the entrepreneurial spirit that I need to keep this going because the pure simple fact that I am relegated to only a certain amount of hours I have to pay before increasing rent. And I have a lot of therapy and a lot of other things to go through before I can get into anything which has been determined. You know what I mean? I think they're all agreeable right now by people that are bigger than anybody that's writing this comment section. That's the route I need to go for my sanity. That's why I've not talked about homelessness and the debt that I have. But I do have a particular subject matter that I do want to bring up about it a little bit later. Particularly being that the death, you know, one of the reasons I always talk about my shipping container home business, and even though we haven't built one property yet, I talk about it because I know the incoming flux that's going to happen. It's going to affect a lot of black people too. And this is why it's going to be a need for that universal income and checks they're talking about. Like giving $2,000 one time and then giving $1,000 each month additional. I think that what's going to happen, this is a trajectory, but I think at the course of things are going right now, what I think you're going to see happen is something like a big, huge moratorium lift nationally. And once that happens, no moratoriums have been lifted. And no one, you know, and Congress and Senate have the right to, you know, reunite them and, you know, put them back into play or whatever, but they have to do them at the behest of the federal government, you know, so it's a whole process that goes through it. You might be waiting 1 or 2 months. Same thing with unemployment benefits, you know, that's what the fund. I did some investigation of that because a friend of mine went to see something, and I was like, wow, violence is going to tick up even more out there now. Because now you have the ones that are unemployed and now no options. You know what I'm saying? And I hate this fallacy that they keep giving it. There's jobs galore. Well, they're not jobs that are abundant, that are pay sufficient. You know what I'm saying? One of the things I'm having a problem with is, you know, and it's slow here. You know what I mean? Like it's barely anything o'clock, and it's like quiet as hell. Around the surrounding areas, except for Times Square, New York, it's pretty much the same fucking way, you know? Once you get in New Jersey, it goes right back to the same after a certain amount of time, so, or a certain section of town, you know? For the most part, the town is quiet, and it can be a quiet solitude that's beautiful and perfect, but it can also be a definite ear for business. And I don't see business like that. If you do see business here, it's with the bars and the restaurants or whatever. You don't want to get into that very stressful. We do not want to get that. Business is nothing but arguments, fights, gossiping. And it is just not. You have to be a real strong motherfucker and stay in a bar environment. And preferably a woman. You know what I mean? Who get the worst of it in a bar situation. You know? I want to stick with this. Kevin Samuels, all these guys do it. Why can't I do it? I've been doing it. When I first came over here, everybody was happy to hear my sorrow or pain or whatever. And now I'm talking about solutions to sorrow and pain. They're like, nah, let's not support that guy. Everybody that says shit like that is somebody that's not even worth your culture, man. I gotta realize that shit. That is somebody that will not do nothing but continuously cause dysfunction, arguing, drama, and further along, procreation of children that will do the same, you know. And they will carry on the generation, and they will raise their children to do the same. They will also carry on the generation, and then you have that of redundant behavior. Simple as that. The way you precursor is you break the behavior right down and stop letting kids dictate what your next move is going to be as a culture. They're letting kids dictate because they accomplished it in a fucking movie that was made by a white company. They're letting that dictate, or them winning a race. It was in a white Olympian theater. You know what I mean? You're letting those accomplishments spearhead you and make you give you this fallacy of what's really going on. And the fallacy of what you have going on with a few is not that of the majority. Okay? It's not that of the majority. Same thing exists in white culture as well. All of them are not fucking successful. In fact, more of them are poor than anything. Poor with entrance and option. You know, it gives you the illusion that they're more opulent than they actually are. I know the truth. I've seen them. I've seen them get the cars declined. I've seen them kicked out of hotel rooms. We were staying at the W. I done seen it all. I done seen it all. You can't get that one. Don't read that one. Guys, I want to tell you one thing, and I want to tell you one thing only before I go. These moratoriums being lifted, which are set in place to stop evictions, they ain't going to affect black people very much. And they're going to affect Latino people very much, but they thought they were protected. There's some people that owe upwards of almost, in some cases, $8,000 to $9,000 worth of rent. And there are provisions put in by states or whatever, giving them the COVID relief funds money from actually the second round to go for electrics and things like that towards mortgage owners and homeowners. But the way that money's distributed, well, if it doesn't beat the time that somebody filed for an eviction, in which you're going to have is an explosion of people across the country that are going to become suddenly homeless without a place to stay, or are going to have to find provisions such as roommates, which a lot of people don't want to do. I don't want to do a roommate. In fact, I don't want anybody living with me unless it's a female, you know what I'm saying, that I'm dating, or I'm with, or potentiality, we're going to be together for a long time or something like that. Other than that, I do not want it. You know what I mean? I don't roommate thing. I got 3 roommates now. Right now, it's like, they're not a bother. You know, I won't say that at all, but like, it's just like, after a minute, you just start feeling on top of each other and shit, you know for sure. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Once again, it's Cash App, $STRINGERBELL 80 PayPal link in the description box, and I will see you guys at sometime tomorrow. I'll let you know what happened with my whole situation as far as the employment thing and everything like that. I'm hoping that I get it. Yeah, it's a possibility I won't, but even if I don't, at least I'm trying, right? And that's all that matters, or whatever. And at least I got somewhere. Right now, this thing, I just like to get my mind, start getting my slowly off of this homelessness and it's the bad journey I've been on. And some of the regrets I have personally from the music industry towards society and when we help promote. And I always, keep it 100 about that. I promoted some bad shit, message. Not bad people, but just a message. And that message helped the tour that you see now for me. And it helped with proving to the record label execs that, which predominantly white, that this type of branding and music works for the black consumer. So it's basically like a commercial you've seen before, how to sell to the Negro, 2021. Y'all have a good night. Donate to the Cash App if you would, and watch what you're consuming.